Good.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Indianapolis Chamber Orchestra's Mocktails and Masterpieces. I'm Dana Stone, the executive director, and I'm here today with our guest artist for our upcoming concert on Saturday, January 28th, Bella Hristova. Bella,
Hi. Hi, I love the name. Mocktails and Masterworks.
yeah, so this was kind of, it started back in the pandemic actually. When we initially started having to cancel concerts, it was
Right.
a way to kind of talk about past performances and just the artistic process of the ICO. And now it's evolved into a way to stay connected and keep our audiences updated on what's to come.
Wonderful.
So, Bella, please take a few minutes to tell our audience a little bit about yourself. I know that you're no stranger to the ICO,
Right.
but you and I haven't met before, so I'd love to learn a little bit more about you.
Sure. Well, hello. I'm very excited to be coming back to Indianapolis and be playing this weekend on the 28th, the Prokofiev Second Concerto. It's one of the earliest pieces that I sort of learned. So a little background, I started playing the violin when I was 6. I was born in Bulgaria, and at my mother's very strong insistence, the violin was chosen for me, really, I should say that, because I wanted to play the piano. But when I was only 12, I remember hearing a recording of the Prokofiev concerto and just loving it so much. I was really taken by it. And I learned it when I was 12. I brought it into my teacher and I said, I want to play this. And she sort of said, like, okay. So I remember going to Austria, to Salzburg at the Mozarteum, and I had lessons with the great violinist Ruggiero Ricci there. And again, I played the Prokofiev Second Concerto. And he said, well, have you played the Mendelssohn Concerto? Have you played the Bruch Concerto? I said, no, I wanted to play this one. So he was very generous with me. We worked on the Prokofiev, but he sort of said, you might want to play those too, sort of do things in order. But I've never liked to do things in order. So this piece is very special to me because of that, because I've had such a long relationship with it. And so I moved to the States shortly after those few weeks in Austria. I moved to the States when I was 13 to continue my studies. And when I was 17, I went to the Curtis Institute of Music in Philadelphia. I studied with Ida Kavafian there. And after that, I was in Bloomington at Indiana University, where I worked with Jamie Laredo. So Indianapolis is very dear to me, and I'm just delighted to be coming back.
Well, we're really glad to have you. And so, where are you located at right now?
I'm in New York City.
Okay, wonderful. And tell us a little bit about your experience with the Indianapolis International Violin Competition. I know that that's kind of how we first became connected with you, and obviously was, I'm sure, a major catapult in your career as a solo performer.
Yes, it was. It was really the first huge international competition that I'd done, and that was in 2006. And so I'm a laureate of the violin competition of Indianapolis. And in the finals, I played with the ICO, one of the concertos. It was the Haydn C major that I played. And then a number of years after that, I came back and I played the Paganini First Concerto, which for me was really, really exciting because it was the first time I'd played the piece. And it's just such a, I guess, iconic violin work. And now I'm coming back to it. But with the Indianapolis, with the violin competition, I've played on the Laureate series. I've played with chamber music in Indianapolis. So it's a wonderful relationship. And Glenn Kwok has been just the most supportive of all the past winners, prize winners, and he's wonderful too.
Yes, Indianapolis is certainly fortunate to have Glenn as an
Yes.
advocate for the arts, and what a just amazing person too. So
Yes, he's great. He's a good friend.
we're always excited when he can sub and play in our orchestra too.
Yes, right. It's a side of Glenn you don't see much
Yeah, so
anymore,
it's
right?
nice to see him like in another part of what he enjoys doing too.
And also so much at home. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, the Prokofiev, you mentioned that you have a very, very long history with it. So it's certainly not a beginning piece for most people. I think it's probably considered one of the more challenging violin concertos. Um, Besides falling in love with it as a small child, since you've been playing it for so many years, how has your evolution with that piece kind of come to pass? Do you approach it differently now that you are certainly more seasoned as a performer, as an artist?
Well, I think one of the wonderful things about live performance is that each time it's different. And also each time that you come together with an ensemble, the performance is going to be a different one. So I work on it personally, but I don't work on the interpretation, I suppose, up to 100%, because I think that final piece is putting it together with the orchestra and with the conductor and creating something new for that performance. So my approach to it is I work out the technical challenges sort of like with any piece, and I try to make sure that that's not something I have to think about in the performance, so that then I can just focus on the music. Coming back to it, it's always wonderful to be playing the melodies. There's some beautiful folk songs that he uses, and I was just reading about the piece. He wrote each movement in a different country, and it was premiered in Spain. So in the third movement, there are castanets that come back from time to time. So it's quite an international piece, and I think he just brings it together in a beautiful story, like a storybook, like a fairy tale.
I love that. I'm very much looking forward to hearing it again. It's been probably 10 years since I've heard this violin concerto, so I'm excited to kind of remember its experience as well. So you mentioned the conductor, and of course, this next Saturday we have kind of a very special thing in the sense that Matthew Kramer, our music director, is unavailable, and we have a guest conductor that we've not worked with before, but we're very welcome to bring Kazim Abdullah, who is actually from Indianapolis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a native. I think he went to high school though in Ohio, but his family's still in Indianapolis, but he is in Nuremberg, Germany.
Yes.
So quite international conductor. Have you met Kazim before?
I have not met him, and I haven't worked with him, so I'm really looking forward to the opportunity as well.
I think it will be a fun collaboration. Certainly the concert that we have on Saturday is also quite international. We have the Higdon, the new Indiana premiere of her Cold Mountain Suite.
Oh, great.
And then, of course, the Prokofiev. And then we're closing with Louise Ferenc, contemporary of Beethoven, her symphony.
I know her.
Really an all kind of unique combination of old and new, and recovered music, if you will.
Yeah, that's a great program. I've played a piano sextet of Louise Ferenc's before.
Very
Beautiful
cool.
writing.
Yes, and she's actually getting a lot more recognition now than I think she's probably had in the past 200 years. So
yes,
it's fun to see someone kind of have a second coming, if you will, in the musical world. So
I look forward to hearing the piece.
I know our audiences are going to enjoy that as well. So you are also going to be in town and visiting some of the Butler students. ICO has a wonderful relationship with the Butler School of Music. So tell us about kind of the masterclass, or what you have prepared for those students.
Well, it's more what they have prepared for me.
Oh, okay, great.
I don't actually know yet, but I very often when I go visit an orchestra, I also make a visit to the local violin students. Sometimes they're in high school, sometimes they're in college. And so I hear anywhere between 3 and 4 students in a public format, usually about 30 minutes each. So they play whatever they have prepared for me, and then we work on it. And I give comments sort of as an outsider, so maybe I'm a bit more objective than their teacher would be week to week. And I think it's always so helpful to hear. Very often you hear the same thing, but just in different words, or even from just a different person. I think it's always very fulfilling for those students, and also to get to perform a piece in front of people. That's a huge part of the learning process as well. So you get a little nervous, and it's I enjoyed those classes very much.
Yes, well, we're certainly really thankful to have the relationship we have with the university, having our offices there, and of course performing at the Schrott Center. But it's wonderful that we can also have this kind of relationship and share our artists with their students as well. So I'm sure they're going to get a lot out of that masterclass. And
I can't wait.
We have a very fun weekend ahead of us, for sure.
Yes.
Well, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to share anything else about either your violin. Oh, I did actually want to ask what you'll be playing, which instrument you'll be playing.
I'll be playing on a very special instrument. It's on loan to me. It's a Niccolo Amati violin made in 1655. I played it back in the competition too, and I played it last time I was with the ICO. So it's it's my little child. It's my little borrowed child.
I don't know, would you call that a foster child? Is it
Yeah,
adopted?
something like that. I'm a caretaker.
How awesome. I mean, what a cool thing. So is there anything else you'd like to share about this coming weekend?
Just that it's always so exciting for me to come back to Indianapolis. It feels like a second home to me. I have dear friends that I made, they were at my host family during the competition that I've stayed in very good touch with. So it feels like I'm coming home in a way, and also with the IU connection. It's going to be a heartwarming weekend, and I'm looking forward to it.
We're so glad to have you. And you've been so kind to share our performance. So please stay tuned for a few more minutes as we share some excerpts of a recent recording of Bella. And we'll see you on Saturday, January 28th. Bye.
Bye.